This is the moment they forgot your name, and you let them. They counted you out before you even started. And maybe, deep down, you did too. You've walked through days that almost broke you, nights that swallowed your voice. You've seen men move ahead louder, faster, stronger, while you stood still, wondering if life just skipped your name. But listen to me, son. This story isn't over. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you why everything you've endured was not a punishment, but preparation. I'll show you what it looks like when a man rises, not when it's easy, not when it's fair, but when it's time. And he looks at everything that tried to bury him and says, with your chest full, with your hands steady, I will win. And not because the world finally played fair, but because he finally stopped waiting for it to.
You know the feeling. That weight in your chest the moment your eyes open. Like the day already beat you before it began. You see their faces, the ones who doubted you, the ones who forgot you, the ones who never even saw you. You've watched people rise for less effort, less heart, less fight, and you wonder what's wrong with you. You don't complain. You carry more than you speak about. You've endured failure with a straight face. You've shown up even when everything in you wanted to disappear. But deep down, there's a quiet voice that keeps asking, how much longer can I take this? And maybe lately, you haven't had an answer.
Because the truth is, you've gotten used to losing slowly. Not in big crashes, not in dramatic collapses, but in quiet compromises. Moments where you told yourself, maybe I'll try again tomorrow. But tomorrow kept moving, and the days started blending into doubt. You act like it doesn't bother you, but you feel it when you close the door, when no one's watching, when you sit in that silence and wonder if this is who you're going to be forever. Invisible, stuck, waiting for something to change while everything moves without you. And the worst part, you've convinced yourself that this is just life now, that the spark you had once was a phase, that the version of you that believed was naive. But let me tell you something, son. That version of you wasn't weak. He was untrained. And right now, he's still in there, waiting to be called back. But here's what matters most, son. You never fully let go. You slowed down. You got quiet, but you never quit. You didn't quit completely because you're here, right now, listening to this. And that tells me one thing, there's still fight in you. Even if it's messy, even if it's late, even if your hands shake when you move forward. There's a part of you, the stubborn, fire-born part, that still believes this can't be how the story ends.
You think your biggest problem is failure, that you're stuck because you didn't win enough. But that's not the truth. The truth is harsher and more freeing. You got used to almost. Almost committed, almost honest, almost ready, almost the man you said you'd become. You've been close enough to hope, but never close enough to finish. And the pain isn't just from what you didn't get. It's from the gap between what you say you want and what you tolerate. That gap is what's killing you. You're not weak, son. You're misaligned. You tell yourself, I will win, but your actions whisper, I'll settle. That's the split that eats you, because deep inside, you know exactly who you could be. And every time you betray that vision, a piece of you dies quietly. And here's the worst part. You're not lost because life is cruel. You're lost because you trained yourself to retreat, to back down just enough to survive, but never enough to change. Winning doesn't come from talent. It comes from breaking that training. Because life taught you something wrong. It taught you to expect less, dream smaller, stay safe. And you obeyed. Out of fear, out of shame, out of exhaustion. But son, I'm telling you now, that training ends today. Not in a dramatic explosion. Not in one perfect moment. It ends the second you stop agreeing with your limits. That's the beginning of a different kind of victory. The one no one sees. The one that starts when you make a decision not to tolerate your own betrayal anymore. You don't need more time. You need a clean break. A refusal. A standard, a line in the dirt, when you finally say, this version of me doesn't cross into the next chapter. And from that moment, you're not almost anymore. You're becoming. And here's what no one tells you. Your enemy doesn't wear a face. He wears your voice. He tells you you're being patient when you're avoiding. He calls it strategy when it's fear. He says you're being realistic when you're just scared to believe again. That's how you get stuck for years, chained to a quiet, invisible lie that things will change without you changing. But let me be clear, no one wins with the brakes on. And you've been living with your foot halfway on the gas and halfway on the fear. Hesitating, second-guessing, holding back the full weight of who you are in case you fail again. You keep trying to protect yourself from disappointment, but that's the trap. You can't win at life while protecting yourself from pain. You either go all in or you die slowly in comfort. So stop guarding your own cage. You built it. Now you tear it down.
Let's make this simple. You want to win? Then you need a way of living that makes winning inevitable, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And that begins with one truth. A man doesn't rise by motivation. He rises by method. And here's the method. 3 weapons, 1 fight, no escape. 1. Burn the fallback plan. If you keep a door open behind you, you'll always take it when things get heavy. That version of you who tries isn't dangerous. He's negotiable. I don't want you trying anymore. I want you deciding. A man who decides doesn't look back. He says, this is the path. I will walk it, broken or not. 2. Respect the small battle. You keep thinking the breakthrough will come from one huge change. It won't. The man you want to be, he's watching how you treat the smallest promise you make to yourself. Did you get up when you said you would? Did you do the work you said you would? Did you stay silent when your ego begged to speak? Those are your battles. And those battles shape your spine. You want to win big? Then win small, 1,000 times without applause.
3. Make pain your measure. Everyone wants clarity,
But clarity only comes through fire. You say, "I don't know what to do." Yes, you do. You just don't want to feel what doing it will cost you. But here's what I've learned. If it doesn't hurt a little, it doesn't mean anything. So measure your path by the discomfort it brings. Because the man who's growing is the man who's bleeding. Stop chasing ease. Start chasing alignment. Now listen to me. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming solid. You don't need to win every day, but you do need to stop disappearing on yourself, even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when your hands shake and your voice breaks. You stay, you face, you build. That's the posture of a man who wins. Let me tell you about a man who was losing. Not all at once, but slowly. Late to work, always tired, always making promises he never kept. People stopped counting on him. And worse, he stopped counting on himself. He was one write-up away from getting fired. He knew it. Everyone did. One night, sitting alone in a cramped apartment, dishes in the sink, final notice on the table, something snapped. It didn't happen in an outburst. It wasn't a breakdown. It was something colder. A decision made in complete silence, the kind that doesn't ask for permission. He looked around and said to himself, "This is where the cycle ends. I've been living like a man with no say in his own life. That ends tonight. I don't get to keep calling this version of me normal. I either bury him or I become him forever." That night, he wrote down one line on a piece of cardboard and taped it to the wall. "I will win." And from the next morning on, he lived like it. Woke up at 4:15, worked out with no excuses, first one on the job, took every task nobody else wanted, stopped explaining himself, and started showing results. He didn't say much, but people noticed. 6 months later, he wasn't fired, he was promoted. Not because he asked, because the team trusted him, because he became the man they couldn't ignore. And he still has that cardboard, faded, torn, but still on the wall. He won, son, not because he was lucky, but because he decided, this version of me ends now. That's what I want for you. Not noise, not hype. A private war fought daily with a public result no one can deny. That's what I want for you. So, you've heard the voice. You've felt the shift. Now there's only one question left. What man will you be when this video ends? Because here's the truth, son. Winning is not an event. It's a posture. And it starts when you stop negotiating with your weakness. From now on, you speak less, you promise less, and you do more. You keep your word, especially when no one is watching. You choose alignment over comfort. You act like someone is watching your every move, because someone is. Maybe your son, maybe your future, maybe the man you'll become 10 years from now, the one who'll ask you if you stood up when it mattered. So here it is, clean and clear. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to be finished with who you were. The world doesn't give victories, but it does notice when a man walks like he's already won. So take that first step today. Quiet, focused, unshakable. And when the doubts come, and they will, you don't explain yourself. You don't look back. You look that voice in the eye and say, I will win. If this hit you, then don't just leave with fire in your chest. Do something with it. Hit subscribe, leave a comment, and share this with a man who needs to remember what's still inside him. This is Steelfast Father, where men come to hear what they need to hear. And if you're ready to win, then come back, because we're just getting started.